Traveling with special needs children while you are doing the potty training, it can be very, 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 very daunting. Welcome back to our channel, and thank you once again for joining us in this another day in the life of living on Autistic Edge. I am Terry and Elaine, proud autism mom, and we are here to share with you tips and tricks of how we navigate through our journey right here on Autistic Edge. This week we'll be sharing with you some more potty training tips, and this time we're going to be looking at traveling while potty training. Potty training in and of itself can be very overwhelming and challenging for parents as a whole. And traveling with special needs, and of course, you know, our son Alexavier, he's on the autism spectrum. So when we speak about these tips, we are talking from a autism parent perspective, but these tips, of course, can be beneficial for other special needs as well. So traveling with special needs children while potty training. Why? Finding the right restrooms that meets the child's needs. Cleanliness, accessibility, but with some preparation and flexibility and a good mindset, we can have good experience, or we can have a smoother experience. Today we're going to be sharing with you some tips that you will find beneficial when traveling with your special needs children. Now, tip number 1, plan ahead. Get some information about your route. Identify rest stops along the way, right? Rest stops and locations with accessible bathrooms. Make sure it's also rest stops that are friendly to your special needs kids as well, because there are some rest stops, if you don't shop or buy anything there, they may not allow you to use their restroom. So you need to take that into consideration. So either you want to shop and use their restroom, or you may just want to use somewhere else. So don't use those places that are not friendly to your special situation, because you don't want to get into an argument with a security or the owner or some worker and get yourself all unnecessarily worked up while you know you have a special needs child waiting. That's not a good combination, and that wouldn't be pleasant for your trip any at all. So make note of those places. Now, another thing is take note of places with family and friends along the route. So that could be very helpful as well. Now, and for accommodation, wherever you're staying, ensure that your accommodation has accessibility to proper restrooms and the necessary equipment like grab bars and stuff. So you want to make sure that those are, typically we find a lot of places in our region that are not properly fitted for special needs, but under our new Disabilities Act, we are seeing more and more places that are now coming on board with the necessary accessibilities for special needs, and that is very good to note. All right, now number 2, pack essentials. Pack essentials. It's important to know your child, know the things that you use for your child. I'm going to be sharing with you a few more items. If you didn't have them before, you may want to take them into consideration and see they can be very helpful in the future. Now, you have portable potty. Yes, they have portable potty. If your child is more comfortable with familiar equipment, then a portable potty would be good for travel. Now, you may want to say, a portable potty? I don't want to be traveling with a potty where I may have to go wash out or something along the journey. But guess what? Things and times have changed. So you have bags. You have bags that you use to dispose the pee or the wee. Now these bags, I think some of them are biodegradable, right? So what you can do, you also have the poo gel. So if you use a portable potty, you can pour the poo gel in it, and then it will become more crystallized or more jelly like, and that can be disposed of in the regular trash can. So that is something that you can consider. Now, if your child is more adaptable to change of environment and they are able to sit on a public toilet, then you may want to consider carrying like a foldable toilet seat cover. So you have these foldable toilet seat cover, nice handy. They have their little carry bags for some of them. You can carry that along with you, and that is for ease of use, so you don't have to sit on the commercial toilets. And the travel cover as well, this foldable seat cover would fit more for your child or one with disability. All right, now you also have the disposable seat covers, and these come in either plastic or paper, where you can slip them over the toilet seat, and then the child can sit on that, and that makes them a little bit more comfortable if they are able to do that. Now, always remember to carry an extra suit of clothes. Most parents would know this by now, right? But as your child get bigger, you expect to put away the change of clothes. But guess what? You still need it in case of accident or purpose. Because for us, Alex is now potty trained. Alex love water. So if it is not a potty training accident that we may have on the way, we may end up with a water situation, whether it be by accident or on purpose. You know he's gonna get wet. All right. So recently we took a trip to St. Elizabeth, went to look for some friends, and while we were there, we just decided to go by the beach side. We weren't prepared to swim, but we were just going to wet our feet in the water. And of course, Alex, while everybody else was wetting their feet, Alex decided to wet his entire body. But guess what? When I see him coming, because I wasn't there, his daddy was there with him. And when I saw him coming, I was like, oh my God. Alex was wet from head to toe. But nonetheless, mommy wasn't worried because we always have an extra suit of clothing for him. So always have your extra suit of clothing. You can also take along with you some diaper bags. They have the disposable diaper bags, and some of them are scented. So if you're changing the car and you have to take the poo a little further before you can find a garbage bin for disposal, then it is scented, so it helps to ease your senses. Okay, all right. You also have reusable wet bags where you can put your wet clothes or clothes that have accident. All right, now take along with you some comfort items, because children on the spectrum tends to get a little anxious in new environments, and we have that issue with Alex. Not every building, not every place is gonna be very welcoming. When he gets to some place, if it seems very comfortable, he may go in, and he may go to somewhere else, and he will just never pass the door. And you never can tell what is gonna trigger them sometimes, while they will just never go in. So take some comfort items like a favorite toy, a favorite blanket, or something that will give them a sense of security, and it will help to calm them as they cooperate and go through this procedure. All right. Now, number 3, use visual schedules. Now, when I say visual schedules, you can set up a schedule if your child is able to read, or if you're using the picture exchange communication system, which is the PEX. You can use those visual aids to kind of explain, show your child when you're going to use the bathroom during the travel time, And this can provide some predictability and reduce anxiety as well when they understand what is expected of them. Now, for some, they may not be able to understand, because remember, kids on the spectrum, different things affect them differently, so they will react differently to different stimuli, right? So social stories is also something that we could do. Use social stories to explain to them the process when they go into an unfamiliar environment. All right, so use social stories to talk to them. Carry your pictures of your bathroom if they are non-verbal and you're working on bathroom. You may want to take along with you a picture of the bathroom to show them that, hey, we know we are going to go to the bathroom, it's restroom time. Talk about the situation with them. Remember, not because they are not able to talk to you doesn't necessarily mean they don't understand, and it doesn't necessarily mean they are not hearing. So still communicate with them and let them know what it is that you are doing. All right, now number 4, create a routine. Create a routine. Now, in this video here, we have done a few months ago, we have spoken about the importance of having a routine for children on the spectrum and by extension special need. Now, I'll give you some tips for routine while you are traveling. Now, you would have already identify your timing or your gaps from your routine schedule as to how your child use the restroom. Now, one thing I would suggest, just before you leave home, allow the child to use the restroom immediately. Make it be the last thing before you go through the door. They use the restroom at that time. Now, what that does is it gives you an appropriate tracker in terms of time. So if you know your child uses the bathroom on an average, say let's say every 2.5 to 3 hours, then if you leave home at a particular time, you can time yourself and say, all right, within the next 2.5 to 3 hours, if we haven't gotten to our destination, that's going to be a roughly suitable time for the child to want to go again. All right, so use restroom just before you leave home. When going on long trips or all-day trips, schedule your rest stop. Even if your child didn't indicate that they want to go to the restroom, schedule the time as well. Schedule that rest stop, because that can help to manage or to maintain the routine. Have you ever gone on a trip and you find that the bus pull up at a rest stop, and then you never really want to use the restroom, but just when the bus pull up and you saw everybody else going to the restroom, then you say, oh, I think we need to use the restroom as well, right? So because seeing other persons use the restroom may just encourage you to say, okay, yeah, I need to use the restroom here as well. So if you schedule the rest stop, that you know that, all right, we're traveling from Kingston to Mobile, we're going to make a stop in Ochi. Once you indicate that this is going to be our famous stop, or this is going to be the place where we stop each time we travel to Montego Bay, then that creates a routine by itself. It sets some expectation. And when you get there, even if they didn't indicate that they want to go, take them. And guess what? They possibly will use the restroom at that time, and that will buy you some more time until you get where you are. Now, consistency. Try to keep up with your home potty training routine as best as possible, such as using the same words when you're at home with your special need child, or especially if the child is nonverbal. You may use certain words that would indicate to the child that it's bathroom time. So when you're out, use similar language. If you use PECS, the picture exchange communication system, take those pictures along with you. Show your child the picture. Talk to them about what you want to do to let them know. Explain the process to let them know it's bathroom time. Here's a very good tip that you can use to maintain routine, and I have been using this lately. not with potty training, but I've been using it for other things. Now, use your phone alarms for reminder. Set some alarms. If you're traveling, you might just be having fun and you just didn't remember that, hey, 2 hours passed. It's time for Alex to take a pee. You may not even remember, and that may create accident, because sometimes you may just remember at the time when you saw that there is an accident. So use up your phone alarm. Our phone have features on them now that you can set reminder. All right, so set your reminder so that that can help you. All right, now I'm gonna ask parents to do something. This is a very strange request. When you are going out and you're traveling with your special needs, your autistic children, whatever situation, please put on your positive suit. When I say positive suit, I'm not talking about how you dress and how you look. Be positive. Positive, positive, positive. That's the new vitamin that you're going to be taking when you're going out. Be positive. Because guess what? Accidents are going to happen along the way, and you are going to get frustrated. Be positive. Stay calm. Life is just lifing. This is life. These things happen along life's journey. So guess what? If you have an accident, just be calm. Accidents do happen. Don't get frustrated. Try and reassure your child. The stress of potty training can so overwhelming, and if you are not positive, if you are not calm, it can make things more difficult. It may create an anxiety moment for you. It may put the child in a stressful situation, and then you may end up with an unnecessary meltdown. So it is very, very important for you to be calm during this time. And guess what? Still give your positive reinforcement. So if you know that every time we get to this rest stop, our child never enter this place, but there is this 1 week when you went, you stop, you make your stop, your child may enter that restroom, but then for some unknown reason they didn't use the restroom that day because they were still fearful of something. But guess what? When you come out, still give them that little excellent for Alex, because guess what? They were one step closer to achieving that success. And that is, they would normally go inside, but they go inside this time. Encourage them. Give them a word of praise, man. Clap them. Excellent for Alex, as we would normally sing when Alex make any improvement. It doesn't matter whether if it's a small one or it's a big one. We celebrate every win. Every step we celebrate. All right, so celebrate the small wins. Number 6, prepare for sensory needs. Now, some children on the spectrum tends to have heightened sensitivity to hand dryers and also the loud flushing sounds from some of these commercial restrooms. And as a result of that, that can put them in some anxious mode, and some of them will go into a meltdown mode too when they hear these loud noises. Now, if your child is one of those, you may want to consider walking with their noise cancelling headset when they're going into these areas that you know potentially will have the loud noise. And for the hand dryer, if you know they don't like the noise, use preferably the hand towels, the paper towels, for drying their hands rather than using the hand dryer, because that hand dryer will create a panic. All right, so prepare for those kind of sensory disruptions. So know the things that would cause your child to go into these mood, and whatever you normally use to help them, walk with it. Understand? Just be prepared. It may not happen and you may go in there and you may find that there's no one else in the bathroom, so you probably can use it quickly and come out before anybody comes in and use the dryer, because you may not be the one using the hand dryer. You may just be there to use the restroom and somebody else come and use the hand dryer, and then that triggers your child. So put on their headsets if you use noise cancelling headsets, and that will help to reduce that stimuli from the dryer. All right. Now, another thing, communicate. Now, communication is key in all aspects of life. Now, if you're traveling with others, other family members or friends, make sure that they understand the need of your child, and they should be willing to help or even to wait. So if you're traveling together, they know that you're gonna stop at that rest stop down the road, so everybody pull over. We be exercise a little patient, we give them a little time, they wait, and then we are on our merry way. Or if you're traveling with caregivers, family members, ensure that persons understand, so that therefore if there is a need for any help, they too can also assist. And eighth and last, and is last but not least, be flexible and be patient. Yes, and I say be flexible and patient. Expect delays. Potty training might just slow down during travel, and that's okay, right? It's okay for everything not to be okay. As I said before, it's about life. Not every single thing will go as we always plan. So be patient with yourself and be patient with your child. All right. If you have a little delay, don't worry. Get back on track as soon as possible. Adapt as needed, right? If things are not going as planned, just be prepared to adapt. Be prepared to try a new approach. And guess what? Sometimes just take a break from potty training while you're traveling. I share with you an experience we had. Now, we were going overseas 1 year with Alex, and it was during the period of potty training. Now, when we got to the airport, we were of course on our time, so we check and we say, all right, boarding was at X time. We allow him to use the restroom at a certain time. Now, when we got on the plane, we allowed him to use the restroom just before take off. Now, of course, I was like in a panicky mode, because I was like, what if Alex had an accident while we are in the air? No, I wasn't preparing for that. I was not prepared for that in any way, shape, or form. And my husband was there reassuring me. I said, dear, we need to put on the pampers. And my husband was, dear, he's gonna be fine. And I was there almost about to have an anxiety attack, because guess what? Me no feel me did want to deal with any accident that is going to mess up anywhere on an aeroplane. And I realized that I was getting a little panicky, thinking that I may have to deal with this. So you know what? We just abort the potty training mission. So what we did, we still had our pull-ups, because we still would move between the pull-ups, and we still carry them, because you're traveling long distance now, anything can happen. So we abort the mission, took him back to the restroom and changed him into his pull-up, and then guess what? We were quite comfortable for the rest of the trip until we landed in the US. So when we landed and we were settled down, we went back on our potty training routine. So guess what? If you think you're going to feel overwhelmed and you're not comfortable, if you're not ready for the potty training on a long journey or on a long trip, abort the mission and just try something, that is comfortable for you, make the journey easy. And as soon as you get back home, get right back on track again. So it's okay. It is okay. Don't feel bad if you have to. It would be very good and very impressive if you can take it through. But guess what? The next time around, when we travel with Alex Xavier, and this time we check all the boxes, we check the timing of going to the restroom, and Alex did an entire journey. to and from the US for our entire vacation. And guess what? We had no accident, and that was beautiful. Now, that was the second time around, and it was beautiful. And since then, we rarely, when I say rarely, we rarely have an accident. And to God be the glory, great things He has done. Traveling with special needs children while you are doing the potty training, it can be very, 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 very daunting. It can be discouraging, it can be stressful, it can be everything, anything where you think of, it can be it, because nobody want to go through this discomfort and this embarrassment, because some of us parents, we do feel embarrassed when we are placed into these situations with some of these children. But guess what? The right strategies and the right attitude, we can all have an whole positive experience as an entire family. So these are the tips that we leave with you today. Hope you find them helpful. With this, we say thank you once again for joining us in this another day in the life of living on Autistic Edge. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification bell so the next time we put out another content, you will be notified.